Stop creating excuses. Start thinking outside the box. Where there is a will, there is a way. I recently had a conversation with someone. She is now a multimillionaire and she has recorded all of her content on her toilet. Yes, I know. Hello. I am so excited to be here with you guys today. Oh my goodness. I have just really been thinking about the group and some messages I have been receiving from you guys, and just always trying to serve you in the best possible way. And so I kind of just wanted to chat with you guys about really just thinking outside of the box. I think that many times it's easy, whether you're building a business or you are, just really hungry to keep changing your life personally, spiritually. Maybe you're trying to get the promotion at work, whatever that might really look like. We need to be thinking outside the box. I recently had a conversation with someone within the mentorship group, and we were just talking about strategies and things that, she really wanted to get aggressive with. And with that, she is incredible with design. She's incredible with organization. And she really can help families be more on track with budgets, right? Like, she has a very large family and she knows exactly what that looks like to essentially help other families not spend so much money. And with that, we were able to really design, okay, well, what can we really do to really help other people through that? Does that mean you're helping your group of women to help them get on track with budgeting? Does it mean that we are helping other women? I'm sorry, I'm just gonna mute you. Hi, welcome, welcome. Super excited to have you here. Um, does that mean that we're helping women directly? And one thing that she was talking about was that she already works, right? Like, she has a job, and she's also really heavily involved with her church. So she's like, I just don't have that much more time, and that's the issue. I don't really have time, but I need to create extra income for my family, and that's why I take on certain clients and I do certain things. Sometimes I sit down, I do a budget with them, and these are all things that she's talking about. And I was like, here's the thing, we need to think outside the box. We need to start thinking, okay, is there an easier way for me to essentially reach out to a lot more people with my gifts and not have to focus on necessarily one client, but maybe I could take on many at the same time by teaching them to do what I do. And it was like a really big aha moment for her. So for you guys, I would really start getting aggressive with thinking outside the box with your gifts. Just because the norm is, oh, you go to that person for a service, or maybe the norm is, gosh, that's all I can really think of right now. But maybe you go to that person for a service. Remember, like, there was like this really big thing that happened in worldwide. I don't know if you guys remember it. 2020. A lot of people learned to function in an online space. Businesses kind of found, oh, we don't need to have this huge building. We can have people that are working from home. There's so much more that can be done within our home space. Why is it that you think that you need to exert a certain amount of whatever so that you can help other people be fruitful, rather than looking at it in a bigger space, thinking outside the box, right? Maybe for you, you're like, I really want to teach my children how to do, I don't know, maybe you want to teach them with finances. Well, think outside the box. For me, what I've realized throughout my years of really just teaching other people over a decade is that we're really good at creating excuses in our lives. Like, whatever it may be, we have an excuse for it. And I was actually just chatting with the gals in the mentorship group about this. I was like, the holidays are here. It is one day. It is not the entire holiday. Learn to be strategic, right? Stop creating excuses in your life. And we kind of really dove into that, as well as Christians. Sometimes we use the excuse of God. We use God as an excuse rather than a reason. And for some of us, that might really hurt our feelings. And granted, there are the people that genuinely, when they say, I'm going to pray about it, they mean it. But most of the time, it's just an excuse, right? So with thinking outside the box, I want you to also think about, what are the things that are happening within your life that you continue to make excuses because maybe it's not reaching a certain level that you want it to be. You're like, oh, it doesn't look like this, so I don't want to start. I don't have thousands of dollars to put into ads, so I'm just not going to start. I don't have thousands of followers, so I'm just not going to start. Stop creating excuses. Start thinking outside the box. If you have a product or service, you have the most powerful engine. Do you know what it is? Word of mouth. You could be talking to your friends, you could be talking to your family, you could be talking to people that you know of within your church, within the school settings, the PTA meetings. You could be talking to strangers about what you're excited about in your life. And I mean, we all started off as strangers before you walked into being great like friends with someone. You started off with as being a stranger and you built that trust. And so you have the ultimate engine right there, right in front of you, if you have something new to offer other people, but we create excuses. If you find yourself in a situation where you have a negative association, you have negative people around you, you can't really share about your vision, it's really difficult to do that. And you're like, I need to be putting stuff on in maybe social media space. I need to be growing. I want to share what I'm excited about with other people. You know what you could do? You could block them. You can block them on your social media. And it doesn't mean that you don't love them. It just means that if somebody is keeping you from really achieving the things that you need to achieve, we need to block them. They can't be in our life, right? And so with also that makes me think about thinking outside the box. So there's quite a few of you that I want you to hear my heart when I say this. I understand that you're going through extreme financial hardship. I hear you. My family and I, we have been there. Okay. I am no way looking at you and less than or anything like that. But if that's you, you need to be thinking outside the box of how am I going to create income? Well, it's maybe babysitting. It's maybe I'm going and walking people's dogs. It's house sitting. It's just really looking at things and rather than thinking, oh, I need to come up with 3 different jobs, it's thinking outside the box, right? For those of you who are like, I'm pretty financially stable, I just really need growth within my life, start getting aggressive with that. Stop creating excuses. Your comfort zone does not lead to success in any way. But we create excuses in our lives and we hinder ourselves from thinking outside the box. So we know we aren't able to function in a space of actually achieving our fullest potential, the things that God has designed for us because we're stuck on, for a better word, stupid. And I have been there. So really, I'm just talking to myself, right? Like I have been there where I'm like, well, I can't really do this because it doesn't look like this. I recently found it was a social media account, and she is now a multimillionaire, and she has recorded all of her content on her toilet. Yes, I know. You're like, what? She did not have this crazy room in her apartment, right? And so she literally put bought a cheap light, set her camera up, and behind her she hung like a really big portrait, and no one could tell that she was sitting on her actual toilet recording this content and speaking truth into people's lives. And now she's a multimillionaire. You're overthinking it. You're overthinking what success can really look like. It doesn't need to be extravagant. There's another social media account that this woman, I don't think I've ever seen her hair done. Like it's always in a mom bun. I don't think I've ever seen her in makeup, and she's making so much money. It's insane. And it is basically just being authentically herself. And if you were to interview her, she's like, I don't have time to sit here and put on a ton of makeup and clean up my kids' messes so that I can record something. So you're going to hear my kids screaming. You're going to hear the snoring. If I'm nursing my baby, you're going to see me talking. She kept it real and authentic, and she's a multimillionaire. Now, let me just share with you, what in your life do you feel needs to be perfect in order for you to achieve X, Y, and Z? What is the hindrance in your life? Instead of thinking outside the box, what is that in your life? I want you to write down. I want you today to write down the gaps that you're experiencing in your life right now and tell yourself the solutions that you can actually be aggressive with it. One time I was speaking to my mentor and I gave her like this very large list of problems in my life. It was like this and this, and this is kind of what's going on. I need this, I need this. And you know what? She's not this type of person. She's very gentle, but very fierce. Like when she says something, she brings it back to the word. And I don't remember verbatim what she texted, but it wasn't like her because it was one sentence. And it was something along the line of, that sounds like excuses, not solutions. And I was like, well, that's why I'm messaging you, because I need solutions. Like I need solutions for these. And she's like, no, 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 you don't get it. That looks like one problem. And you're making it a million other problems when you can just solve this one problem. So what is the one problem? Is it that you're not focused on your health? Is it that you're not focused on your growth? Is it that you continue to create excuses about your finances and not invest into the things that are necessary within your life? Whether that be, I don't know, the book that you need to read, the coach in your life, the coaching group in your life, the course that you need to take. What excuses are we creating, right? Is it that the Lord has blessed you with an incredible story, and you need to speak that, you need to tell people about what you can achieve and what you've gone through, and being able to do that, and you won't do it because your house isn't clean. You won't do it because you think that you're not this I don't even know what your level of perfection may look like. We need to think outside the box. We need to stop creating excuses, and we need to truly be living in alignment with what the Lord is asking us. So you need to write down what's going on in your life, write down the gaps, and give yourself actual solutions. And guess what? Actually get to it. Don't just write it down and be like, okay, those are things I need to solve. Like, be aggressive with solving them. How can you solve them? Another thing, maybe you're in a position where you're just like, man, like I really want to have more time to do X, Y, and Z. Well, maybe you are in a financial position where you can give up your Netflix account and maybe other things that are hurting your budget and invest into some help. Maybe you actually need someone to come to the house once a week to clean and do something so that you can refocus your time. Maybe it's investing into the meal, somebody who meal preps for you so that you can be focused on X, Y, and Z, maybe your business, or maybe it's, furthering yourself in career. Maybe it's learning the language. I had a client one time that she was like, I really, really, really want to step up in management, because stepping up in management means that I would make more. It would just make me feel like I've accomplished a lot. And I was like, okay, so what are you doing to do that? She goes, well, I thought about like really furthering myself and learning a different language, but it costs so much money. I also thought about, I think she said something along the lines of learning a new like system, but it costs so much money. And I just was like, so you've created a huge excuse in your life to not move forward, and that's financial, because literally you can learn even Spanish, Mandarin, whatever you want on YouTube for free. There are colleges. I just signed my daughter up, our 16-year-old, for I think it was like 8 different college courses because they're free. And she can learn these basic things. For those of you who don't know, my family and I, we relocated to the Dominican Republic. We really truly lead a freedom-based life. We've built multiple businesses, some to 6 figures, some to 7 figures. I've been coaching women for over a decade now. And everything that we do is centered with God. Everything that we do, and it's not perfect. I want to say that, like, sometimes we've messed up. But when it comes to really truly sitting down and saying, is this something that partners with God? We're pretty darn good with it, right? And so for us, like when I'm looking at someone else's life, when I'm coaching them one-on-one, or maybe they're within the mentorship group that we have, which feels like one-on-one because I allow you guys to have Q&A time. Literally, when you're bringing something to me, know that I'm going to give you a solution. And so you can, if you're looking to further yourself, look it up on YouTube if you don't have the finances initially, right? Or find the finances. Think outside the box. Your house is basically a living treasure room. You know how they say like one man's trash is another man's treasure? Like you could be on spaces like Mercari, Poshmark, eBay, Facebook Marketplace. You could be decluttering your entire house and making money at the same time. You think that no one needs that old printer, but they do. You think that the old soccer cleats and stuff like that won't do any good, but there's another family that doesn't really have, and they're like, oh my gosh, if I could just get that for $5, that'd be fantastic. And then you take that amount that you make and you redirect it to the places that need to be. Oh, I can't afford a mentor. Phooey with that. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Let me tell you that when I first met my mentors, okay, I remember being in a position of being broke with a broke. Like, I was so broke. And to work with them, I think it was like 1,300 or 1,600 a month or something like that. Okay. And these are like my first round of mentors. I've learned to evolve. And now I'm stuck with my girl because she's amazing. But my point to this is I didn't create an excuse. I was a single mom. It was a lot of money. I did whatever it took. I remember going through absolutely everything so that I could work with that. When you want something bad enough, you'll make it happen. So enough with the excuses, right? Think outside the box, right? Another thing that I was actually just thinking about the other day was that when we're looking at our own circumstances, it's very easy to be lost within it. Like, man, I'm really going through this. I'm going through this, and I can't believe I'm going through this. But rather than like shifting our perspective and being like, man, I can't believe I'm going through this. I wonder what God's doing and how much I'm going to be able to teach other people to really be fruitful from this. I have a lot of like not network, what is it? Digital marketers in the group, and that's totally fine. We've built a lot online. So if I need to help with someone with that, that's fantastic. But what's interesting is the common lie that a lot of them for some reason think is like a niche means it's something that maybe has happened to you, or for example, like if you're a single mom, then that's your niche. If you know have been in the medical field, then that's your niche. And I'm like, what a lie is that? If you are truly looking to level up in that area, you need to look at your story in any area. If listen, people buy into you before they buy into your business. People buy into you before are like excited to give you the promotion. They want to see who you are, right? They want to know your story. If you had two shampoos and one shampoo and like they both looked exactly the same, and one was maybe just a smidge more, if you actually took the time to look at the back to be like, okay, well, what's the difference? And you saw there was like an incredible story in the back. Um, if you saw there was like an incredible story in the background, you're more likely to buy the shampoo with a story, even though it was a little bit more. Oh my gosh, this feeds families? Like, absolutely. Why would I not buy this? Oh my gosh, their story was that in order for them to find these oils and stuff like that, they had to travel, and it was in a foreign country and they had nothing and they built something and they came to America with a dream. Like, you buy into the story. So, yes, I understand that some of you are going through it, but you need to start looking at your story and realize, how can I really monetize from this? How can I elevate my gifts? How can I think outside the box? Right? What's next? Am I going to settle in this one place at this one time, or am I going to be willing to do more? And please remember, I allow Q&A during this time. So if you have any questions, you can type it in the chat. You can, at the end, if you choose, you can say like, you can unmute and we can chat about any kind of questions that you directly have. I definitely want it to be that you guys can take advantage of this call and that I can help you in any way possible. And let me tell you, just no question is off limits. Okay. Like, it could be life, it could be finances, it could be spiritual, whatever you're thinking, like, I'm 100% here. So if you need to think about that, you could do that. But I really wanted to talk about just thinking outside the box for social media, thinking outside the box for, really leveling yourself up. If you're finding yourself with more excuses than solutions, you need to really sit down, write it all down, and actually give solutions. And none of this, like, I just can't. Where there is a will, there is a way, right? Where there's a will, there's a way. And you guys really can create the life of your dreams. You really can do the things that you desire. You want something in your life, go get it. And I know we hear those things and you're like, but how? Well, first of all, if you haven't gone through the 6-week challenge, you need to get on that. And the reason why is because every single pillar that is necessary for success to build a fruitful life is going to be in there. It's going to help you with your time. It's going to help you with your finances. It's going to help you really figure out, okay, what is my purpose? It's going to help you with your relationships, all of them, your marriage, your children, building the networking skills that are necessary in order to elevate in any area of life. There was a question that my husband and I don't know if I posted it on social media quite yet, but we were just like, if you had to make $10,000 or something like that in 1 month, like what would you do? Like, and you were broke, what would you do? And I was like, I would literally put on my best outfit, scour social media to find out what networking events were going on, and I would get to every single networking event and show them who I am. I would share what I'm excited about. Right. And here's what's crazy is most people are so consumed with what other people are thinking that they create this lid on top of them. They're like, I can't do that. I can't do those things. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. I would love if you put in the chat what you're in the Fierce Woman for, so maybe I can touch on some things for you guys. But I would love to hear, why are you here? Right? Like, why the Fierce Woman? What brought you here? Was it the fact that like I put God in the center of everything? Was it the fact that you'll be able to grow? Was it the fact that you want to be able to build a business? Is it because you want to level up in your career? Is it because you want to maintain your incredible career, but also have financial stability outside of it? Because it is, let me just share with you that if you don't have control of your time, if you don't have control of your money, if it's always someone else that's essentially telling you your worth and you're not actually thinking outside the box, I want you to know these companies, it's not that they don't care about you. It's not that they don't honor you as a person or they don't want to honor you as a person. At the end of the day, it's a business. I need to analyze, is this section or this sector in the company actually making money? Is this person actually performing in a way that I need, or can I bring on someone who's a little more cost effective? It's just business. And so what's going to happen in your life if it's just business and something happens? Are you thinking outside the box? Have you achieved so much personal growth in your life that you can go and get any job? It doesn't even matter. You want the exec job, you can go get it, right? Or building the business, whatever that may look like, right? So I'd love to hear in the chat, like, what are you guys here for? And I'll open this time up to Q&A if you'd like. If you guys don't have any questions, that's totally fine too. Let's see. Okay, so I'm here for growth in every area of my life. My life has been total chaos this last year, and I'm tired of being in survival mode. I had a successful business to close this year, and I also need to get fresh business and financial ideas and perspective. I want you to know, honestly, you're not alone in that. It's been a wild year in the kingdom for sure. It feels like the enemy knows that we're on the cusp of something great, and he's like, I know what we'll do. Insert chaos, insert financial instability, insert, all these different things. And so one, I want you to know that like where one door closes, it allows you the opportunity to do something 10 times greater, 10 times better, 10 times faster, right? And so what does that really look like? Well, that means that for you, I would hop into the 6-week challenge, and especially day 7. Day 7 is going to blow your socks off, because literally it's going to have you have that fresh perspective. It's going to help you really establish, all right, like this is where God wants me to be, and really understanding that the things that you're going through, you're really not alone in, and how can you elevate others in that area so that they can be fruitful, right? So whatever you're going through, what's going to be really cool with that is that you can talk about, going from however much your business made before, to like, okay, back to zero to, making 6 figures in a short amount of time if you're really hungry to do that. So what does it look like to have a fresh perspective? Sometimes it's just looking at your story. Sometimes it's as simple as looking at your story and saying, okay, where are the areas that light me on fire, that help me actually establish, okay, this is how I want to help people. This is what I want to do with my life. Oh, then absolutely. I'm gonna repost this. This person put, yes, my goal is six figures in 2025. Let me tell you, six figures is not difficult to make. It's really not. I know a lot of people, they set limits in their brain on how much they can create in their lives. But when you really sit down and put down every single thing you're passionate about and create and function in a space of, okay, like I'm going to look at every single thing that really sets my heart on fire. From there, I'm going to see what's the common denominator. All right, what's common here? And can I monetize off of these things? And if the answer is yes, then you're going to write down what monetizing that looks like, and then getting aggressive, right? And I would really encourage you that during any journey, you better make sure you have a coach, someone in your life that's keeping you in check, right? That's honestly, that's why I created the Fierce Woman. The Fierce Woman, I created it because I wanted a space that women could really, truly thrive. And I created the free groups. You have some awesome resources, there's community, but then I created the mentorship group for women who are really looking to level up. Like the women who they're like, I want to coach, but I like it better in a group setting. I like being able to pick and kind of choose from all these different things because I have so many different resources. I have 3 weekly lives that essentially you can set. You can have Q&A, like just like this, where I'm open to chatting. I want to make sure that I help you in every single area. So whatever that is, even if it's not me, get a coach. Get someone in your life that's going to be like strategically looking at every single piece that you're going through and helping you be like, no, this is not how it's going to end, because we got this. You're going to end up doing this. This is the plan for this. Oh, this is perfect for your story. We're going to go ahead and put that in. Like, no excuses, right? This is the season of no excuses. I know that for some of you guys, you're like, oh, Halloween, or oh, Christmas, which is my favorite. Oh, like Thanksgiving, like it's just, I have to prepare. I got to do all these different things. Do not let the holidays be the reason why you don't create something great. Because here's the difference with you. Here's the absolute difference with you. You're in this group for a reason. I believe that. I believe you're in this group for a reason. I believe that we're on this call or you're watching this. Maybe someone, was at work and they're rewatching this for a reason. Now, what that reason is up to you to get serious, to discover, and to become like fruitful from it. But here's the difference between you and someone who's not in this group. Someone who is not in this group, they are waiting till January 1st, right? They're waiting till January 1st to get started, to get things going, to see that like, oh, the holidays, I'm trying to figure out a plan for the plan for the plan for the plan. I'm trying to wait for God to, tell me something great. And here's the thing. Yes, I believe that God already told you what's necessary. Most of the time we forget the things he tells us, and it takes some kind of big event or a reminder for us like, oh, that makes sense. Right? Like that totally makes sense. You're in this group, you're not starting January 1st. You're starting today. I will not allow you to start on January 1st. You're starting today. You're going to write down everything that's going on in your life, look at the gaps, figure out, okay, what are the solutions for this? You're going to write down the things that like literally set your heart on fire. You're going to figure out, how can I monetize from this? Get in the 6-week challenge. If you are really serious, which I think you are, about really becoming fruitful in your life, you're going to get in that 6-week challenge. You're going to get into the mentorship group. You're going to level up. You're going to do the things necessary so that you come January 1st, you're like, I'm already rolling. I already see the money that's coming in. I've already created everything that's necessary, and I'm dropping it on January 1st for the person that waited till January 1st. Does that make sense? Oh, the workout plan and all that stuff. Well, create it now. Create it now. Create the buy-in now. I'm just going to read out loud. So let's see. I am already so encouraged. I'm ready to cancel all my subscription and go all in on mentorship. I will do whatever I have to do to be successful financially, spiritual, in my home life. Amen. Honestly, amen. Because I am so excited that you are looking at your life and you're saying, no, enough's enough. That doesn't serve me. This does. I think that's kind of the next thing is looking at your life and saying, what doesn't serve me? Who does, and here's the one, who doesn't serve me? That's one that most women don't want to admit to because we feel like we can fix everything. Like, and I love that about us, but those red flags in people and relationships and family, whatever the case, like you need to not ignore those and realize that's the person or the thing that's keeping you from being great. Or maybe it's a situation that I had a gal that she was like, I just went through all your videos. I was so excited. I was like, wait, all of them? Like last night? She was like, yes, I didn't, I binge watched everything. I was like, girl, so what did you do to like work on yourself? She was like, what do you mean? I was like, well, I love that you binge watched me, I think, but what did you actually do for actionable steps? And how many other times have you done this with other things? And she realized that that was her gap, that she would get so excited about something and she would sit there and like kind of binge watch it, whether that be a sermon that she was really excited about or someone that was, positive self-talk or, whatever these things. And she would spend hours and hours just watching instead of doing. So even that sometimes I'm like, you got to limit. You got to time block some things, right? You got to make sure that we're in alignment with the places that we got to go and the things that we got to do. Because sometimes we're just soaking in so much, but we're not doing, right? So this is not the season of soaking. Like we're doing. You're part of the fierce woman. That means you're doing, right? And ultimately, I want you guys this week, like if you haven't done this already, for some of you, we have spoken and I've maybe already given you this homework, but I want you to dive into the 6-week challenge. Okay. Actually take the steps that I'm asking from you in it, excuse me, very seriously. And then I want you to push even further than that. I want you to look at maybe the challenges that, let's see, sorry. Do you need to have the one-on-one call to join? No, you don't. And anybody that comes into the mentorship group, you guys have, well, right now for this month, you get 2 free coaching calls. So that's one-on-one. Anybody that's in the mentorship group that hops in for this month. But no, you don't. You don't have to have the one on call to join the mentorship group. Thanks for asking that. And I'm super excited to have you if that's, what you decide to do. But now I totally forgot what I was saying. Homework. Write down all of the things that you have, essentially the gaps that you've experienced in your life. So for example, maybe you've gone through something really traumatic. Where were the gaps with that? And where could you not find resources? Where did it feel like, man, this was a huge gap that I didn't have resources and I had to really figure it out? And not overthinking it either, because sometimes it could be something as simple as I moved to this new, for example, right now we're in Punta Cana, and I'm having to figure everything out. Fortunately, I have somebody that I found on the internet. It's so funny. I found her husband on the internet, and then her and I connected, and we've just kind of been chatting. And so she's been my guide with a lot out here. And she said something that I found very interesting. She was like, when we first moved here, I had nothing and I had to figure everything out by ourselves, even down to how can we get things shipped here? Where are the best places to shop? Where are the best schools for the kids? Like I had to figure out so much by myself. That right there could be her business. It could be the ticket that other moms come, they have her as a resource, so don't overthink it. Right? Think outside the box. That's the theme of this phone call. It's just start thinking outside the box. Whatever situation you're going through, think outside the box. If you're financially going through it, think outside the box. Listen, I'm telling you, I was broke 99. Thinking outside the box for me meant that, because I was originally from Vegas, well, not original, but pretty much grew up there. We have like basically the mob for HOA. Right? So you have to have things look a certain way. You have to have your curb painted. And I went around the entire neighborhood and I said, hey, I will paint your curb with the number. So it's like very small. It's like this big and you put their number. It's like a spray paint thing and that's it. Super quick. right? I was like, I will paint the number on your curb because I know that HOA charges you $200 if it is not fresh, if it doesn't look good, right? So I will paint that for you for 20 bucks. And if somebody's like, oh, I don't want to pay 20 bucks. Okay, how about 10? That's my final offer. I did that for my entire neighborhood. Listen, I made so much money because I did it for my neighborhood and then I did it for the neighboring neighborhoods, and it didn't take me that much time. And this is when I was broke 99, single mama, right? Like I have been there. Think outside the box. There's there's a teen back from Tennessee, that's where we were for the last 3 years, that he is making six figures based on this. Are you guys ready for this? He goes and power washes his neighbor's trash cans. And he does it once a month. Okay, he does it once a month. He charges them $100 once a month. And he breaks it down. He's like, that's like nothing, right? It is like if you really, it's like nothing. Think how nasty. And they could have three trash cans. He does them all, $100. Okay, and he does that for his neighborhood and now others. This kid's making six figures, and he's in the 11th grade. Now he's in the 11th grade. You're gonna let an 11th grader spank you on thinking outside the box, right? So I just really want to encourage you guys to think outside the box. Look at your story, understand that it serves a purpose, and start thinking outside the box, right? If you already have particular skills, whether that be maybe your job is helping people with their taxes, maybe it's I don't even know. Someone give me an idea here. Maybe it's a nurse, right? Maybe you're a nurse. Maybe it's helping basic needs. Like, hey, here's some basic things that you can do at home for your kid when they have a fever, right? And monetizing off of that. There are so many things that you can do outside the box, but the most valuable thing that you can do is be in the growth of you. Because it doesn't matter if you're making millions of dollars if everything else is broken. If the home is broken, so is everything else, which is why the Fierce Woman is such a powerful place to be, because I'm not just teaching you, oh, your financial fruitfulness. Like, no, I'm teaching you how to be successful and wealthy in all areas of life. So I'm pretty much done. I just wanted to see, like, does anybody else have any other questions before I hop off? I'm so happy to serve you. I'll give you a second. If not, we'll go ahead and call it. Okay. I am so blessed to be here with you guys, and I'm just so excited to see what you guys take from this talk. Join me every Monday. Every time is totally different. Sometimes I have something strategic. I know that this last Monday, for those women who were really like looking to monetize and make some big things happen, I went and chatted that. If you're looking to get another chat like that, just send me a message, because I really do serve the group. Whatever I see the group really needs, that's what I do. And the group really needed a chat about thinking outside the box and totally stop creating excuses. I actually have one more thing, because I just thought about it. For those of you who love Jesus the way that I do, please do not be like the Israelites, where all they did was create excuses and there was fear and they weren't truly all in. So what was supposed to be like a week or two turned into 40 years, right? Do you really want it to be another 40 years until you are able to walk into the promised land? Or are you really serious about creating change within yourself and onto others so that you can have a fruitful life and be able to experience the promise, right? So I'll end with that. Make sure you do the homework. I hope to see lots of you jumping into the challenge and potentially into the mentorship group. Okay, bye.